about the history of this movie?
Oh yeah, I am definitely ready. I am definitely ready for this. So I feel like I kind of drug you along with this, but you made me watch Leprechaun, so
Yeah, buddy.
anything is fair at this point. So basically, this is directed by Lucio Fulci, who is known for making gory films, but mostly he's known for that because of the movie he made before this and the two movies he's going to make after this one. So these 4 movies in a row are like probably the most gory movies that he made. But so he was coming off making this movie called Zombie 2, which here we know it as Zombie. And he kind of made all of these movies almost at the same time. Like, it's really unbelievable how fast they worked on movies. So by comparison, between 1979 and 1983, he made 9 movies.
Wow.
Made and released 9 movies. So he made Zombie 2, which came out in 79, and then in 80 he made Contraband, and then he left Contraband to make City of the Living Dead. So this movie was supposed to be kind of based on like an H.P. Lovecraft. It's not based on an H.P. Lovecraft story, but it's based on the kind of concepts that H.P. Lovecraft wrote about, where there's like this other world and there's these things that live in the world that are older and more powerful than anything on our world. And they were there long before we were there, and they'll be here long after we're gone. So he made this because so when he made Zombie 2, which is supposed to be a sequel to Dawn of the Dead, but we'll talk about that one day. It was supposed to be like a comic book type movie. Like, it was supposed to be not funny, but it was supposed to be intended to be, when you watched it, that he thought the audience would laugh at it. He thought the audience would laugh at the zombies and not be scared of them, but it terrified people. So he's like, and it did really well. So he's like, so let's go in that direction. Let's make a real horror film. So then he made these 3 movies right in a row. So he made City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and House by the Cemetery. So City of the Living Dead it was supposed to be based on the Salem witch trials originally. It was going to be about not ghosts, but like the haunted like land where these witches were killed, even though that wasn't really historically accurate. And I mean, he knew that, but I mean, it's just a movie. But yeah, it was supposed to be based on Salem, but instead of, when they changed it, when they did the H.P. Lovecraft stuff, they changed it from Salem to Dunwich, which is like I said before, an H.P. Lovecraft city name. But yeah, so there is also more history that we'll probably talk about near the end of it, which will make more sense at the time. But it was written by our Dardano Sacchetti, who is a guy that worked with Fulci a lot. But yeah, these 3 movies are considered a trilogy, the Gates of Hell trilogy. And the first 2, I think, are masterpieces. Like the one we're talking about today and the one we're going to talk about next week, I think are both masterpieces. House by the Cemetery is not quite as good, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see it back to back. Now, as a person who I never seen any of these trilogies before, this is my first time watching this movie. Are they all linked together? Or are they all just like
only
different?
thematically?
Okay.
They're only linked by the idea that there's a gate to hell that somebody opens up by accident.
Gotcha. Sounds pretty fun. Yeah, it looks like that Zombie 2 movie grossed over $1.5 billion in Italy. So that's definitely a success, especially for a horror movie during this particular time.
Also, this movie was shot near Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
So not too far from where we are, but it was, you can actually go to that church, the one at the very beginning where they're in the cemetery. Mm-hmm. You can actually visit that still. The church is still there. The cemetery is still there. Obviously, a lot of the stones were fake, but the cemetery is still there, and you can visit it. So and like in the movie, I think it's kind of implied that it's in New York State somewhere, or like maybe in New England, because it was supposed to be Salem, Massachusetts originally. So, but it's obviously within driving distance of the New York City scenes, but it was actually filmed in Georgia, interestingly enough.
So check out, this is kind of funny. So the shooting scheduled allowed for shooting on locations in New York City and 6 weeks in Savannah, Georgia, like you were saying.
Yeah.
As well as 2 weeks in Rome for some of the special effects. So the decision to shoot in Savannah was put in place by the film's low budget, particularly due to avoid the conflict with the unions regarding the importance of most of the film's cast and crew. So this part's a little funny. The special effects scene, including the scene where the cast is attacked by maggots, via 2 wind machines and 10 kilograms of maggots. Yeah. To surprise Fulci, one crew member took some of the maggots and placed them in his pipe tobacco, which Fulci only learned about after a few puffs of what he was smoking, angrily him immensely. And then Fulci would later apologize that this incident led to his future illness as he underwent heart surgery in 1985